Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the IVES. This is their part number FS410 in a 643e finish, aged bronze. So this is a pretty common, common nowadays and has been for, who knows, 10, 15, 20 years. A modern style stop is what it is. These, there are many variations on this, perhaps from other manufacturers. This is a short version. There is a taller version that exists if you have a greater requirement because your undercut is taller, or maybe your undercut is taller. Let's take a dimension of this item, then we'll talk about what you use it for. It's about 1.5 inches tall. Its diameter is about 1.25 inches. The important thing is from the bottom of the unit to the center line of the bumper, it's about 1 inch. So if you have, you know, a typical 3/8 half-inch undercut, this unit's going to work really well. If you have a 3/4 inch undercut, you know, your door is going to come right to here, so you might want a taller unit at that point. But a wood door application where the undercut's closer to 1/2 inch, I think that would make a lot of sense. So where would you use this sort of item? Let's talk about that now. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Generally in a commercial setting is where you'll see this type of unit. This is where we see these. It's a bit much, I think, for a commercial application, for a residential application, but you could certainly use it on a residential application where you might have more volume or activity through the opening, where a doorstop is really going to be far more important to have there. Think of the front door perhaps, or maybe more appropriately the door from the house to the garage. That door probably gets used the most, in fact. What I don't like about this unit, and what I don't think makes it appropriate for commercial applications, is in high volume doors and applications. I have seen this mount style fail because there's only one fastener holding it. There is a airline carrier with a large terminal in Chicago, and they have a lounge that's there. Well, the men's room has one of these units on it, and it's failed, and it's just been crushed and kicked over because that door gets used countless times an hour, and the single point of mounting is just not up to that sort of volume, hitting that doorstop all the time, because you've got so many people coming through the opening. You know, a person will be partially through the opening and then lean against the door to allow the other person to pass. So high volume stuff, I probably wouldn't consider this. I've mentioned the fasteners a couple of times. You get everything you need to get it installed. The machine screw with a lead anchor. You also have a wood screw and a plastic anchor. So any floor type that you have, you're going to get this installed with everything that comes with it. But standard duty commercial, probably your best bet. Even heavy duty residential, but not for heavy duty commercial, would be my opinion. Let's switch to the screen view now and let's take a closer look at the supporting information. But before we do, it's all solid brass. You install it by unthreading the top. That bumper comes off and can be replaced. I don't know if these are available from IVES. I will find out and I will update the extended description. But that's where you sink that fastener down in right through there, through that hole. Okay, we'll find out if these FS410s have replacement bumpers. Let's switch to the screen view now and let's take a closer look. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. All right, let's start off with taking a look at some photographs of this FS410. There it is. This is the 643e finish, by the way. I should have mentioned that. They call it aged bronze. The 643e is a finish particular to Allegion and the companies under the Allegion umbrella, IVES and Schlage and Von Duprin, LCN. I don't know that those manufacturers all can do 643e, but only Allegion companies do this 643e. That's what you get when you buy one. Different views of the stop itself. The bottom, and then the fastener package. And these are all linked down below. So here's the item that we are looking at. This is just a generic image from the factory. Extended description information is here. Overall height, 1.5 inches. bumper thickness 1/4 inch, diameter 1.25 inches. Non-directional, I guess that would mean this is a non-handed piece of hardware. Well, no, it would mean that you can approach the door from any direction in any orientation. You know, that's not true necessarily for all types of door stops at all, because you're mounting this on the floor and it has coverage around the circumference of it. You know, a baseboard mounted door stop is not going to be non-directional. Cast brass, meaning it's solid brass. The process used is casting, and is a typical method of construction in the builder's hardware industry. Replaceable rubber bumper. So when I've reached out to the factory and I've asked them for that part number, we will update this link to be a link to that replacement bumper, assuming it is indeed available. There's a link here to the product brochure. And this is going to be a link to the manufacturer's product brochure for their door stops. Lots of different choices. The FS410 is here. They do list all of these other finishes as available. You'd be able to locate all of these in our site. 605 for polished brass, 619 satin nickel, 622 for black, 625 bright chrome, 626 satin chrome, and then aged bronze. There is no BHMA code for 643e. So there you go. That is the product brochure. We've gone over the extended description. Now finally, there is a link below this video as seen here to the manufacturer's page, and when you click on that, you can pull up not only all of the IVES products that we sell by means of this horizontal navigation, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the current full product catalog, and some prior catalogs will certainly be here as well. And for fun, I have a couple of extremely old catalogs. If you want to see what IVES was doing at the turn of the 20th century, there are a couple of catalogs there. IVES, to me, when I first started dealing with IVES products in the mid 1980s, in fact, it was window hardware that people would always come in and ask for. If someone wanted a sash lift or a sash lock, it was going to be IVES. And if you look at these old catalogs, that's what you find. More choices of sash locks than you ever thought you needed. That's what IVES did. They are not that IVES anymore. IVES is the trim and auxiliary component to the Allegion family of companies. They provide flat goods, push and pull hardware, pivots, and hinges, and trim and auxiliary, would be door stops, things of that nature. But you go back in time, it was a very different company. These ventilating window locks, these are nice. It's funny because I think this is still called the 03 in about the 1990s before it was discontinued. Don't quote me, I don't recall, but a really nice piece of hardware, because back in the days of when you had double hung windows, wood double hung windows, the home I grew up in was built in, I don't know, maybe the 1920s. Wood double hung windows everywhere naturally. Well, my dad had installed, after my brother and I were old enough to cause trouble, he put ventilating sash locks, because it was a 2-story frame construction house with 10-foot ceilings everywhere, and yeah, limited the lift on those windows so that you couldn't lift them very high. Plus, it's nice to be able to ventilate a window and prevent someone from coming in from the outside. So maybe not as much of a security device from keeping you from getting out, even though some special knowledge is required. It's better as a device from keeping people getting in, because you can't reach around to that. You can see the concept of how it works. Anyway, just fun fact, and let's wrap up this video on camera. If you've made it this far into this video, you must be determined to see it through to the end, and we appreciate your hanging in there with us and watching this entire video. It means a lot. It takes a lot of work to create these videos, in the sense that it's time taken away from doing other things. However, the advantage for me personally of creating these videos is the fact that it does allow myself to either learn about something new, to reacquaint myself with something or to reinforce what I believe that I already know. Any comments that you might leave down below would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. So if you have any questions on the FS410 in 643e or any of its finishes, please feel free to reach out to us. Good quality company IVES is. They are part of that Allegiant family, Schlage, LCN, Von Duprin, Glenn Johnson, obviously IVES, Falcon, Doramatic, Zero. I'm forgetting a bunch of companies, I know it. But they all have all of them have very good technical support departments. It's a cultural thing, I believe, there, because you always get exceptional tech support, whether it be exits or closers or lock sets or weather stripping or trim and auxiliary. They're just good, responsive folks over there. And to them, for that I say thank you. Any questions on the FS410 or any other IVES product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.